maybe I should have left the mic off for that, huh? Sorry, y'all. All right, can everybody hear me? And Haley? Okay, cool. All right, and I got nobody on Zoom this morning yet. We'll leave it up and going. I want to go over a couple of things just to touch base with everybody. And then we can get started this morning. Let me do this one first. Okay, let me just run through who's here. And I know that we're missing Burley. I got you, Thomas. No problem. Brandon? Yeah. Thomas. Alexis? Jocelyn? Okay. Kennedy? Colton? Jeff? Fletcher's here. Kyle? Riley? Anna? Caden? Hannah? Jacob? Jade? Here. Okay. Jordan? Isabel? Abigail? Daniel? Karen? Rebecca? Wyatt? And Kyle? This bunch is gone today. What's in the back here? What's your name?
I'm Kennedy.
Kennedy. Cool. Yep. Okay. So let me go through just a couple of things to make sure everybody is on the same page. We talked about this, but I've had a couple questions about the book. And let me share this actually. Cool, okay. So if you can all see this, the ebook link is here, and I think everybody's getting on and being able to see it, but there were some questions, right? So you don't necessarily need to purchase the book. In fact, I don't even think the book is in the bookstore. You could purchase it other places because it is out there. But if this is the ebook link, okay? So you just click on it, you follow it through. I think everybody knows that, but in case. And then here is our week 1 world history lecture. So if you were to miss a course, right? I am currently recording via Zoom. And so I've uploaded that here along with the transcript so that you had that if you wanted to use this, or if you missed class, or couldn't make it 1 week or whatever, I will upload the video. And I'm trying to decide which one is the best way, because last week we had a decent discussion on Wednesday, but Friday's discussion was way better, but I uploaded the link from Wednesday. So I'll partly because you get more information from Wednesday's class because we made it through more material, but Friday we discussed more. So take that for what it's worth. So anyway, I'll try and get the most information up here is what I'll do. in addition to that, we are, this week will be our first full week, right? So our first full week this week, you all are here today. The other half of the class will be here Wednesday. And then Friday, I'd like everybody to come back some way, somehow, right? So Friday we'll kind of talk about questions that you might have, things that we might need to clarify, and then we'll look at a primary source from this time period, okay? And that's what we'll be doing on Friday. If you want to join us via Zoom, that's great. If you want to show up to class, I'll be here, and we're just going to do it that way, okay? That's the way that we're going to work Friday this week, and every time that we have a full week, unless it's test week, that's how we'll do things. Okay, does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? Okay. All right, cool. Let me pull this up. And then cut that down. Yep. All right. So we're gonna talk about a few things today. So from Monday or from last week, we get talking about where people are coming from, right? And the growth of humans and these human traits and characteristics that that grow out of Africa and then migrate across the globe, right? And one of the things that we've seen is that if we're talking about Western civilization and Europe, we've really focused on those people for a long time. So we've seen this grow up out of Mesopotamia, and that growth takes place, but we don't see that anything else is going on, right? We only see these people. And so one of the things that I'm hoping that you're seeing in the reading, or that we're going to be discussing, is that there's lots of different people around the globe and things are happening at the same time. Okay, and that's really, I want to make sure that you understand that, is that if you've taken a history course in the last 10, 15 years, I mean, that's the way that we've done it, is Mesopotamia out and not really a world history. And that's what we're doing here, right? Is this idea of world history. So I want to talk about a couple of things today. We start to see the growth of cities. So if you've done the reading for today, where are we seeing the growth of cities? There's one feature that should be a very big feature in the growth of cities. Yeah, Fletcher. River valleys, right? So we're seeing these take place around rivers and river valleys. What's the significance of that? Why should we see, why is that happening? Can anybody think of Yeah, right. So you're being able to use the river in so many different ways, which we're going to see here at the end of today. More ways that the river helps them, but we're seeing that the river is coming in and it is flooding the valley, making it suitable for farming. Right. It's a place where you can use for fishing and hunting. Ultimately, it's going to turn into trade routes, right? Those are the big reasons that we see cities or civilizations start to build up in these river valleys. So what are the three? Oh yeah, Brandon. Exactly. So transportation and trade is a big deal. And we're seeing that not so much yet, but by the end of this chapter, yes, that's what we're seeing, right? So in the beginning, we're seeing that people are using the rivers for farming mostly. And then they're going to start using it as for fishing and then later they use it for trade. And so if we're talking 3,500 to 2,500, we're going to start seeing boats, military arms using armaments, things like that. Okay. What are the three? So there should be three, not should be. There were three major places that we're looking at. Can anybody, I realize that it's Monday and I told you that if you came on Monday, you probably didn't have to do the reading. But can anybody give me the three areas that we're talking about here? Geographic areas. Yeah, Fletcher.
Mesopotamia, Indus River Valley, and Yangtze.
Yeah, right. Okay. So we're talking Asia, South Asia. You're talking about Mesopotamia, China. Okay. These are the big areas. And yeah, I put them up here, but so if we're talking about these places, let's talk about a couple of what is so important about the rivers flooding. How does that help people and the growth of cities? Yeah, Thomas.
Well, it's going to take soil from the river and spread it out across the land.
Yeah, right. But how does that help? How does that soil help it?
Farm ground, and so it's easier to plant crops. And I assume that with more fertile land, other things grow, and it's easier to hunt because there's more game.
Perfect. Okay. So this idea of flooding is perfect. And generally I have, anybody farm in here? Generally I have some farmers, but we have usually a bigger class. So this is different, but right. We want that silt to come in, that soil to come in and make it more fertile. And that's what's going on here. Okay. Is that we start to see that these places have some way that glacial water is coming down and bringing other new silt in. And so that every year they're being able to have these phenomenal crops. Okay. And that's really the growth of cities. You start to see these people, it's building up, it's getting bigger and bigger. More people are coming in. We'll get to that in a second. There are some environmental issues, right? And one of the big things that I want to make clear here is that although we're seeing climate change today, which is 98% of scientists say that it's man-made. I mean, we're causing the problem, but we've seen this throughout time, right? We've seen different things throughout time impact climate change. One of the things that I think is interesting is that climate change is, when we look back on it in history, it's contradictory, and we can't figure out what the difference is, if it's people, if it's a shifting of the globe, or what might have happened. Regardless, we can see that the climate change did happen. And so one of the things in which we see this is that these valleys, if you think of them today, shifted from being wet and cooler to desert, right? To drier, arid land. And that is going to make a difference. Okay. Let's see where we go. Where are we at? The next one. There we go. Well, maybe it's not. I was going to pull it up, but we'll get there. So I just think that it's important to understand that we start to see a lack of water, a lack of new sediment, and then people moving. Okay, so you start to get these migrations out of these larger areas, out of Mesopotamia. And I'm not talking about the larger Mesopotamia. I'm talking about in these cities that had built up. Now people are starting to move. This is going to be a theme that we're going to see throughout this course, is people migrating out of different places because they need to figure out a way that they can get to new resources. Okay. I think that this is something that we see over and over and over again because things change, whether that's people are changing or the land is changing. In this case, the land is changing, right? We've seen some sort of climate change and it's pushing people to the periphery. Now, this isn't something, I mean, honestly, if we look at it in terms of the United States and what was going on here throughout the frontier, it's always these people pushing. Or let's talk about New York. New York is a fascinating city in which we build up these tenement homes, right? Or we build upwards, and then we're like, well, shoot, I don't really like this, and we need to get out. And so people that have money wind up moving to the periphery and leaving poor people in the middle. Okay. And that happens for several generations. And then people who are living on the periphery are like, man, I don't really want to travel anymore. How can I get back into the city? And they start buying up land in the middle. But then what do they want? They want green space. So then they build Times Square, or not Times Square. What's the big park in New York? Shoot, Central Park. They build Central Park so they have green space, even though they left green space out on the periphery. Okay. This goes on and on. During the plague, it happens during the plague as well. People they get sick and they leave because they don't want to be in close contact with the people that have the plague. So they go to the periphery, but then they can't find enough resources on the periphery. So people are dying of the plague here and they're dying of starvation out here. And it's cyclical, right? It's a cycle that continues to go and happen. And we're starting to see that here. Now, we've probably seen it before this with nomadic tribes who are moving from place to place, trying to make sure that they're keeping resources within arm's length, right? But this is the first time that we're seeing people leave cities. They've built up these cities and then they're leaving cities to go somewhere else, okay? One of the big ways that we can see that people have changed, and we talked about this last week, is through writing, right? So here are a few forms of writing that we start to see, not necessarily more symbols here, right, if we're talking here, but you can see as it transitions to how all of a sudden we get to this different writing. What does this suggest about people during this time? We talked about it last week. It's honestly, it's the exact same thing that we talked about, but we're starting to see it through language and through writing. And what does writing suggest about people? Yeah, Brandon. Intelligence, right? We're starting to see that that people are having this cognitive awakening of sorts. What else does it tell us? What was writing used for here in the beginning? Because it's not to tell stories, right? That's not what's going on here. Yeah, right. About economics, it's about keeping records. What were you saying, Brendan? Okay.
Or there's no animals at all.
Yeah, so it's giving you direction of sort. It might be also giving you their creation narrative, right? Which could be a story, I guess. I'm just saying that it's not literature. Economics is the biggest piece of the reason that people start to create writing, so that we can have that economic piece and be able to record those things that we have. Generally, our livestock. That's what it's going to start with, right? We want to make sure that we know the livestock that we have, and we're keeping a record of that. However, we also these people also keep a record of their children, their concubines, okay, slaves, things of that nature. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of features of early civilization. Cities grow up around these fertile areas, okay, which brings a couple of things that we need to be aware of. If I was answering a test question, I would want to know these things, okay? So features of early civilization. You get cities, and we're talking about urbanization when we're talking about cities. Okay, 10 to 15, 30,000 people in some places living in an area, in a small area confined. We often think of these places as being more agrarian or like farmland. That's not the case. We're actually seeing cities and these big buildings being built up. Generally, your biggest buildings are going to be temples to a god that is important to that city. Okay. Next, you're going to get government. We start to see the growth of government. Growing numbers of people is what pushes government to be created, right? We need to regulate human activity. And so you start to see people at the top and people then at the bottom, right? We start to see this hierarchical system that's taking place due to government. Religion is the next one. Okay, so religion, we need to find a way to explain natural forces, things that are going on around us, and we have this desire to know why that's happening. And so within the government and religion together, we start to see rulers and priests who claim that they are divinely appointed. Okay, they are divinely appointed. God appointed them to be in this position so they can explain to you this natural phenomenon that's going on that's obviously from God. Okay. With that, you get the social structure based on economic power. So with the social structure, and I'd want you to be able to explain this, but you don't necessarily need to have all of this, but hopefully you understand that it's going to be rulers, upper class, and priests, and then government officials at the top. Depending on the society, if we're talking around the Aegean Sea, then you're going to see warriors, a warrior class at the top. Okay, they're going to be in with all of those people. But if you get away from the Aegean Sea or away from the Mediterranean Sea, warriors are going to fall into the second class of citizens. Okay, within the second class, then you're talking about a large group of free people, farmers, artisans, and craftsmen. Okay, warriors can be either or. If you're talking about Greece, warriors are in that top. If you're talking about Egypt, warriors are in the second class. Does that make sense? That's really, I'm trying to show you that. If you're talking about China or the Americas, warriors are probably in the top, but at the bottom of that hierarchical system. Okay. At the very bottom, you've got slaves, a slave class of people. Now, just briefly, because I get this question all of the time, slavery in Mesopotamia and in Egypt and around the globe at this time, completely different from chattel slavery in the United States. Okay. I used to have a question about slavery and for you to grapple with this idea of what the difference is, and I don't do that anymore. And so I'm going to take just a minute and explain the differences between chattel slavery here in the United States and what's going on then, because I think that in this time of Black Lives Matter and civil protest, that we need to understand that there is a difference. We can't just say slavery's been around for a long time. Yeah, it really has. Since the dawning of time, we've probably had slavery in some form or another. The difference is that you could generally get out. There was a way to get out. Okay. That doesn't mean that everybody got out, but you could potentially get out. The next big piece is that your kids weren't born into slavery. Once your kids were born, they were free people. Okay? They're not a slave class. That's not the way that it worked. So you were the one who was in debt, or you were the one who got yourself into slavery. That didn't follow you down. That didn't follow your line. Okay? So your kids could get out of slavery pretty easily, actually. They weren't born into slavery. There is a caveat to that, which is if you were in trouble and had gotten yourself into slavery and now you wanted to get yourself out, you could potentially sell your children or your spouse into slavery to get yourself out, or to get yourself out of debt if you were in debt. So if you were in debt and the guy came to you and said, well, here's the deal, I would take you as a slave, you could say, well, that sounds great, but I really want to keep my freedom, but I'll sell you my kids, or I'll sell you my wife. Okay? And that's the way that would have worked. Oh, hey, Burley, you're on. Hey, great. We got Burley now. Burley, can you all hear me? Okay. Perfect. So here in the United States, that's not the way that it works, right? Here in the United States, we take this class of people due to their skin color. They are now slaves and they are stuck regardless. And we just continue to keep them in slavery that way. Okay? Their children are slaves. It does not matter. They can't get out. Yeah, there are these instances of people being able to purchase their freedom, but generally those are few and far between, and that does not happen. And it just continues to perpetuate this class, right? We actually stopped slavery, international slavery, when the 1820s. But slavery continues going because we have our own people that we're then building up, right? I mean, we're able to raise our own slaves that way. And that doesn't happen during this time period. Okay. Okay. Let's move to so there was one more feature of early civilization, which is writing. This is for accurate record keeping. And then later on, it turns to creative expression. Later on in this time period. So if we're talking 3,500 to 2,000, roughly 2,500, 2,200, we start to see writing for creative expression rather than just records. But in the beginning, writing is used for accurate record keeping. Okay. One of the, and one more. Sorry, there's one more feature of early civilization. I just hadn't turned the page, which is art. Okay. Art can be seen in several different ways. Temples and pyramids, places of worship. Okay. Painters portrayed stories of nature and depicted gods and rulers. Pottery, we see art on pottery. This is all civilization, early features of early civilization. Let me just go back for those who just joined us in Burley. Could you guys hear me the whole time? In Burley? Could you guys hear me in Burley the whole time? Okay. So this is important. So let me just go back just really quick and take just a minute. So we're talking about features of early civilization. And this would be important on a test question coming up. So the features of early civilization are cities. We see urbanized cities. We start to see the growth of government, or government being created. That's a feature of early civilization. Religion. Really, religion, if we're talking about religion, it is these rulers and priests who are claiming to be divinely appointed, but also explaining natural phenomenon as a way to understand our world. Social structure is another one. We start to see a hierarchical social structure. Writing is a feature of early civilization. And then art. I think you guys came in on that one. Okay. And look, we'll go, I mean, if you're taking detailed notes, that's great. But also we'll do a review the week of the test as well and go over all of these things too. So, so one of the most complete sets of early law, I mean, maybe I should just ask you, what's the earliest set of laws? What is that called? Anybody know? So Hammurabi's Code is the earliest set of laws that rise out of cities, and that law becomes public knowledge, and then it's spread throughout Mesopotamia. Okay, Hammurabi's Code, and I used to have a picture of the one of the ones that we still have, but it's written just like this here. Okay, so it looks like this cuneiform writing. It's on a kind of like a monolith or an obelisk monument that would have sat in the middle of town and told you all of the laws that you could and couldn't do, right? Everything that you needed to do. They were very specific. They were specific judgments and specific actions. Okay. But basically this unified laws across Mesopotamia. And when we're talking about government and writing and language, this is significant, right? Now we're starting to see that a government is taking action and regulating its citizens. Okay. Okay. I'll continue then. So when we talked last week, we talked about using animals to be able to plow fields, and I said that did happen, but it really wasn't used extensively, especially at what we were talking about last week. We start to get into 35, well, roughly 32 to 3000 BCE, and we start to see plowing, but it's only taking place in the Indus Valley. It's not taking place in Mesopotamia yet. But we have, there is evidence of furrowed fields in the Indus Valley during this time period, okay? What do you think that adding plowed or adding animals to plow fields, what do you think that does for people at that time? There's several things, but what is one thing that we get if you can now use domesticated animals to plow fields? What does that do for you as the farmer? Fletcher. Plow more land. Okay, so now you can grow your farm a lot bigger because you're not having to take care of all of it yourself. Okay, perfect. What else does it do for you? Perfect. It frees you from the hard labor, which means what? What is that like? What's the next step from that? Yeah, you're free, but what are you going to do now with your time? Perfect. Okay, so now you're moving to the next step, right? If we're talking about Maslow's hierarchy and you're just trying to take care of your base needs, the higher that we get up on that rung, the more self-actualized you can become, right? So now you can turn to other things, into writing, into literature, all of those things. We're not getting there yet in this. We won't get there today, obviously, but this idea that it's now going to start to provide time for artisans, okay? Craftsmen. Instead of you taking care of your farm, you start to maybe get into a niche, right, of things. So maybe in the morning you go out, you plow your field, and then you come back and you're like, hey, you know what? I've really been interested in tying flies so I can fish better. So now all of a sudden you're tying flies, you're taking your time to do that. You know, we see people do this, right? I've got a buddy that is a lawyer, and went through law school, clerked for a judge in Boise for several years, and then once he started making enough money, he was like, hey, I'm going to start learning how to tie flies. And he spends a lot of time doing that now. Right? That's what I'm talking about. It's this where you get to a point where you can say, I can take a step back and I can do something else. Now, what this does is, yeah, it helps people to become artisans, but it starts these little crafts or these things that are going on that now those grow out. So the farmers are staying farmers, but now you start to get a class of artisans that we didn't have before. Pottery makers, right? Candle makers, things like that that are coming out of this, all because you have animals, domesticated animals that are plowing fields. Okay. Let's go back. Fletcher said that you can plow more field. What does that ultimately bring you is wealth, right? Wealth, rural wealth brings urban splendor. And that is directly a quote from the reading this week. How does rural wealth bring urban splendor? How does the periphery build up the city? And this is something that I think that you all, like, I mean, we all should get this, right? This is something that we all should understand. Fletcher. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's the idea, is that we're pushing the bounds of the periphery out, and we're having to actually create more because we're having to take care of the city. And that's not unlike today, right? That is what we do. That is where we live, right? We live here where people, we're making food, we're producing things out here that then are going back into the cities, right? And that's the way that this works. That's what we start to see, is this rural wealth that's producing this urbanization that couldn't have happened because there's not enough resources in the cities to be able to take care of those things. We need the periphery to provide the resources. One of the ways that we see this in the 19th century is in Chicago. Sorry, is in Chicago. And as Chicago started to build up, now they had to move to the periphery to get more food to be able to feed the people of Chicago. And you just see Chicago start to grow and grow and grow because of that, because you had to get out farther to get more land to be able to feed the people. They started to create stockyards because we needed more cattle. This is what created refrigerated train cars, because we needed some way to be able to take these slaughtered cows into the city, and it had gotten so far out that the meat would spoil by the time it got in. Okay. So just fascinating. But this also expands wealth and builds up these granaries, because if you're plowing all of this land, you need to be able to find a way to keep all of that granary. So they build silos, especially in the Indus Valley. Okay. What this does is this brings more migrant workers to the area, and then migrant workers are working the land, right? They're doing all of the things so that other people out on the periphery can do other things. Maybe they found a passion that now they're going to do, and they're not doing this, and migrant workers are working that, or they're working in these granaries, and it expands the population. Okay. Which then makes it big, increases the population. The Indus Valley is then 2 to 3 times larger than Mesopotamia. Why then do we talk about Mesopotamia? Because it is the crux of Western civilization. So if we're teaching Western civilization, then that's where our people come from. If we're talking about world history, then we need to find a way to show that the Indus River Valley was larger than Mesopotamia, and we're not studying them, right? Or haven't been. Okay. Same things going on in China at this time. We see a huge impact, a climate change impact in China, and society falls. I mean, it is almost wiped out for a millennia. I mean, it's so bad in China after climate change happens. Their rivers dry up. We see that there were a couple of different rivers that would flood over, and one of those rivers have never come back. Okay. They were able to get back on track, and we start to see these smaller agrarian societies. Okay. So these smaller agrarian societies, people move out of the cities. They're trying to find more resources. They're trying to be able to sustain life. And so they moved to these agrarian societies. Now, one of my favorite political philosophers is Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who believes that we should be living in agrarian societies. Okay. Now, we're not in a political philosophy class, so I won't bore you with a lot of this stuff. But the idea of Rousseau, or Rousseauian idea, which most of us who are American will understand this as Jeffersonian, even though it's Rousseauian. Okay. But Rousseau has this idea of, if we're living in agrarian societies, then we have more vested interest in our society, because we have family that's living there. We all are dealing with the same land. We're all having to live together. And so these agrarian societies are going to help us out, but we're also going to make us more politically minded in helping one another. Okay. This is going on in China at this time, but they're so separated that it ends up taking a dynasty, and this is how the dynasties come out in China. It takes dynasties to then gather all of those agrarian societies and turn them into, or put them under one government, if you will. Okay. Okay. This is one way that we see a divergence from the other river valley societies. Okay. China breaks away and has these agrarian societies, and then they're kind of they're ruled by dynasties. We're not going to see that. We're really not going to see that until the Roman Empire is really the first place that we see that around the Mediterranean. Okay. So China is doing this first. We see them building up, but that's the divergence there with China. In the Americas, it's slower to technology. Okay. Why do you think that it's slower to technological advances here in the Americas as opposed to other places? And this is not I'm just asking a question. This has nothing to do with the reading or anything.
Could it be that though people didn't get there, is the Americas weren't populated quite as fast as the rest of the world?
That's what I think too. I think that it's probably it's later, and so you don't have as many people, first of all. Second, as people are moving in and it is later, that you're not seeing the advances as quickly. Also, I think people become really comfortable here, being able to live in the societies that they're living in, but they're nomadic for a lot longer than people were. But those are just my thoughts. Anybody else have any thoughts? Okay. Corn production led to greater population. People could grow corn pretty easily in the Americas, and so this led to more people saying, "Hey, I'll just continue to grow corn, and we'll just make lots of corn," which then continues to create people staying there rather than leaving. Does that make sense? Because if you can grow corn in an area and you're comfortable there, you're not going to go somewhere else. Okay. There is less urbanization, and this one always gets me. If we're talking about Mexico City, that is going to become a major urban plaza at some point, but it's not until much later. Why is there so much less urbanization in the Americas than other places? And I think it probably has to do with what we've already talked about, but the urbanization is much smaller here. Okay. Resources, I think, is a big piece. I think that the Americas, although there were a lot of resources, there wasn't it seemed like there are a lot of the same people. Rather than when we get to other areas of the globe, you can see there's a lot of different people who are going back and forth, right? One of the things that I always think is not fascinating, this is just funny. My kids play Minecraft, and they're always excited to find lapis. I don't know if you've played Minecraft, you find lapis and you mine it and whatever. And my daughter was like, "This thing isn't real." And I was like, "No, it totally is real. In fact, this is something that in the Indus River Valley, they would mine and then they would trade with other people because they had an abundance of it. They didn't really care. But right, other people wanted those things. And in the Americas, you have the same resources. And so I think that there's not this like crossing of, oh, I've got this gold and silver. Oh, you have gold and silver too? Okay, well, I guess I won't trade that with you. Does that make sense? I think that's the idea of resources. So you're eating the same things, you're hunting the same things. There's not as much diversity to have that, so it doesn't build up these large cities. Okay, that's it. That is my thought, is all. Let me leave you with two last thoughts as we end today. Changes in climate affected everyone and slowed or even reversed development in some cases. In China, it reversed development, but then it made this change, which then creates dynasties, which dynasties in China, which I think is fascinating, right? And that's something that we need to be aware of, that definitely is impacted by climate change at that point in time, right? To drier climates, less water, okay? The other one is that cultures adapted dependent on local circumstances. Now, I was hoping to get here a little sooner, but that's okay. Adaptation, or being able to adapt to your local circumstances, is what's going to make you successful. We see it here on the frontier as well. The people who can get out here and make a name for themselves or be able to sustain life are the ones who are successful in the West. It's the exact same thing when we're talking about the globe, right? Those people who can adapt to change in their local circumstances are able to produce more, they're able to create, they're able to be successful. It's about adapting to your local circumstances, okay? And we see that all over the globe, whether it's the Indus Valley, whether it's Mesopotamia, whether it's Egypt, that's what we're seeing. I would suggest that as we're moving forward and looking at these things this week and next week and looking towards our first exam in a couple weeks, that adaptation is going to be key, okay? Just know that your adaptation in your local circumstances is going to be key. That is what's going to be the difference between all of these different areas that we're talking about. Does anybody have any questions for today? All right, Burley, I have recorded this on Zoom today. I will upload it just like I've already uploaded last week's lecture. If anybody wanted to do that, I'll try to upload it today so you can catch the first half. Here's last week's lecture here, but I'll upload week 2 to our week 2 module, and then you can watch it if you'd like, or if anybody is interested, they can show up on Wednesday. Remember, we're here today. You don't have to come Wednesday, but Friday we're going to be talking about primary sources and then answering any questions that you might have related to this chapter. If nobody has any questions, you're free to go. Thanks for coming today. I appreciate it. And Burley, I'm sorry about the problems that we had earlier. All right, Kyle, I hope that worked for you.